Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll start off in a child's pose position. Bring your big toes together, spread your knees apart, and walk your hands out long in front of you. Bring your forehead down, bring your hips down to your heels. Start to bring your breath into the space between your shoulder blades. We're going to be focusing on a lot of torso movement in today's session. So really allow your breath to expand into your entire back body. With every exhale, feel your hips sink a little heavier onto your heels and start to find more length and traction through your spine. Keep these breaths moving, maybe you inch your fingertips a little further away from your toes. And then slowly roll yourself up. We're going to come to sitting on your knees for this first bit of movement here. Come to sit on your knees and then open your arms really wide. Open your chest up towards the ceiling. And then on an exhale, lift the arms up overhead and contract. Chin to chest, fingertips long out in front of you. And continue to move through these two motions. Open through the chest and the heart. And then on the exhale, let your arms come up and over. Find this deep contraction. And you can stay with your hips on your heels. If you want this to be a little bit bigger, come to stand on your knees as you open wide through the chest and your arms. And then on the exhale, hips back to the heels. Bring your fingertips long in front of you. And the purpose here is just to find a little more activation and movement into the upper body. So it's a little bit bigger than a cat and cow that we might typically take. Take a few more of these, just moving at your own breath, moving at your own pace. Come to stand on your knees and then step your left foot so it comes in front of you. You're in this 90-90 lunge. Bring your arms to a low V, take a little bit of a side bend, and then reach your right arm up and at a little bit of a diagonal towards your left pinky toe, and then bring the right hand back to your side. And we're gonna continue that, moving through these two motions. And where we're trying to find a little more space and openness is all along the right side rib cage, kind of into your back right side rib cage, where your shoulder blade is, and you're gonna find more expansion, more space in your right lower back. It's called your QL, that little area right there, right lower back. And you could take this as quickly or slowly as feels good. Keep kickstanding your left foot down into the ground. And then bring your right hand down, lift your back knee, find a twist, and start to rotate onto the outer edge of both of your feet. So you can kind of adjust your feet here. Keep your right arm down, reach your left arm up and over. Push your hips up towards the ceiling. Take one more big breath in. And then bring your left hand back down so you're in a lunge position. Step your right foot forward to meet your left foot, forward fold, ragdoll. Your feet could be about hips width distance. Grab hold of your elbows for a moment. Really just allow yourself to hang over nice and heavy here. Keep the bend of your knees, bring your hands to your thighs. Inhale for halfway lift and exhale to release. We take that 4 more times, undulating through the spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release. And again, push into your thighs. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to lower. A couple more times with breath. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to release. Again, finding that nice movement, that undulation through your spine. And then bend your knees slowly. Roll yourself up to stand. We're going to imitate what we did sitting on your knees. Open your arms out to the side and then reach your arms up overhead. Find this deep contraction. A little more circular movement here as you open your arms, lift the chest, and then exhale to contract, chin to chest, and continue to move through these two motions. And again, at your own breath, we're starting to find some more mobility and movement into the shoulder here as well. Pull your shoulders down your back as you open through the arms and lift your chin, lift your gaze, and find that rounding through your upper and middle spine. And take this a few more times, moving with breath. Stand all the way up and forward fold. Bring your hands down to the ground. Step both feet back to a high plank position. Pause for about 5 big breaths in this high plank, starting to build a little bit of heat in your core. Spread your fingers nice and wide, lengthen through the back of your neck. Feel your entire abdominal wall knit in. Really push down into your palms and pull your throat back. Bend your elbows, lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. Flip to the tops of your feet. Bring your fingers wider than your mat. Tent your fingers or your wrists up. Push into your finger pads, lift your chest, and on your exhale, dip your right shoulder down to the ground. And switch this up, push into your finger pads, lift up. Exhale, dip your left shoulder down. We're just gonna continue to alternate right side to left side. I wanna think of that undulating sensation through the spine here. Push into the tops of your feet as you move from side to side. And we'll take this just a couple more times at your own pace. Just let it feel good. There's no rush. Finding a little more mobility into the back, maybe a little more back flexibility. And then lower yourself through center. Press your hands underneath your shoulders, flip your toes. Try to stick your butt up in the air first and push yourself back to stand on your knees. We're gonna take everything on the second side. So step your right foot so it comes in front. Bring your arms to a low V and take your left arm up and over towards your right pinky toe. And then release the left arm back to your low V and continue to move in this way. Think of that rounding that you can find all along the left side of your spine. That expansion, that space. Reach the left fingertips over towards the right toes and then bring yourself back. And take this just a few more times. Really kickstand into your front right foot. Feel that expansion, like each rib could pull away from the next one. And then bring your left hand inside of your right foot, flip your back toes, lift your back knee for your twist. Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder to get a little more space and stretch into the right side neck. And then heel toe your right foot back. So we're on the outside edges of your 2 feet. Push down with your left hand. Think of lifting your right rib cage up towards the ceiling. And then bring yourself back to your lunge with your right foot in front and step your left foot forward, forward fold position. We're gonna repeat our little halfway lift exercises. Inhale, find halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We do this about 5 times. We're a little warmer through the spine this time around. Really just want you to feel that sensation of undulating through your entire spine. This is going to involve work in the abdominals and also releasing the abdominals and also a little bit of work in the legs and the glutes. Nice undulating motion here. Make sure that you're released in your jaw, released in your forehead. Stand all the way up and then once again find that deep contraction. We repeat chin to chest. And then open the arms, lift the heart. Do that again. Up and over, chin to chest, bend your knees. Up and open, chest to ceiling. Just a few more times with breath here. Contract, chin to chest. Up and open, heart to sky. And again, exhale, round over, bend your knees. Exhale, arms open, heart to sky. A couple more times with breath, just finding more movement, mobility, fluidity into your spine. And then come all the way up to stand and forward fold all the way down. High plank, bring your hands down, step your feet back. Take 5 big breaths in your high plank position. Energize your heels back behind you. Push the front of your throat up so the back of your neck is really supported. Take a few more big breaths here. Feel your abdominals knitted in and then lower all the way down to your belly. This will be a little different our second time around. Bring your hands a little bit wider, but still tent onto the finger pads. Lift straight up, lift of the chin, lift of the gaze, and then lower straight down. So instead of alternating from one side to the other, you're just going straight through center here. Push into the tops of your feet and find that undulation through the spine. The neck is really involved here. The core is involved as well. Try to keep the tops of your feet pushed down into the ground. Take about 2 more of these, just undulating and moving through your spine, finding a lot of fluidity there. And then lower, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, flip your toes, stick your butt up into the air, push yourself up to downward facing dog. Take a few moments of breath here. If you'd like to pedal through your feet, maybe shake through your head, buzz through your lips. Lift your right leg high and step your foot so it comes between your hands. Come to a 90-90 lunge. So a little bit of a shorter stance. Reach both of your arms up this time and then bring your left hand outside of your right knee. Reach your right arm back behind you to start. we're gonna come into these kind of loose circles with the right arm. So you're just swinging the right arm forward, up, and around. And you can take this a little bit slower to begin and then start to make these circles a little bit faster, almost the feeling that they're a little more loose. The torso, the head, the neck can move a little bit with this as well. Just allow yourself to be kind of free. We're gonna be here for a little moment. We start to feel a little bit of heat into the right shoulder. Take one more big circle and then move back to the twist. So your left hand will come down, flip your back toes, lift your back knee, and then bring your right foot slightly more back. Reach your left arm up overhead. Feel that nice stretch in your outer right glute IT band. And now tuck your left knee underneath your right knee. So you're in this cross-legged seated position. Bring your left hand behind your head and then reach your right arm out to the side and tip yourself over to the right. Try to rotate your left elbow up towards the ceiling. And more than anything, think of your left rib cage pulling up towards the ceiling as you breathe. Nice big breath in. Full big breath out. Bring yourself up, bend your right elbow behind your head, your left arm out to the side, and start to crawl yourself, lean yourself over to the left side. Think of the space, the expansion you can find all along your right side body. And then start to move through side to side. So your right arm will come down, your left arm will come up and over, and then switch. And then again, just continue to move side to side. Feel your butt bones rooted down into the mat. And we'll take this about 5 times. Could be nice and slow, nice and easy. Just allow yourself to be kind of loose here. And maybe with each progressive side, you find yourself going a little bit further into the side bend. You can linger a little bit longer on one side or the other if that feels good. And then come back to center, reach your arms up overhead, and then release your arms and your body up and over your cross legs. Just taking a moment to focus a little bit on the hips here, a little opening into the outer glutes. You're gonna also feel activation into the back, breathing into the space between your shoulder blades. Take nice big breaths in and full big breaths out. Give yourself a couple more moments of breath here, nice and heavy through the torso. Slowly start to roll up, move back to a lunge with your right leg in the front, and then find 3-legged dog, right leg up into the air. Bend your right knee, open your hip. Spread your fingers wide, give yourself a few moments of breath here, nice and open through the front of your right hip. And then place your right foot back down to the mat, and we're gonna switch this to the opposite side. Lift your left leg up, and then step your left foot so it comes between your hands. Lower your right knee down to the ground. You're in like a shorter lunge. Reach your arms, both arms up overhead, and now cross your right arm outside of your left knee. Your left arm will come back behind you into a nice open twist. And then start to take some circles with your left arm. Going forward, up and around, and finding a little bit of momentum through the arm. It doesn't have to be anything big, but you want to try to maintain that twist in the torso with your right hand pushing against your left knee. And this can become a little bit looser into the shoulder girdle if that feels good. We'll be here for a few more moments of breath, taking it at your own pace. And then move into your twist. So your right hand will come inside of your left foot. Flip your back toes, lift your back knee, and then start to heel toe your left foot. So you're coming to the outer edge of both of your feet. Reach the left arm up overhead. Think of your left rib cage pulling up towards the ceiling. Transition to your cross legs. Pull your right knee behind your left knee so you're in your cross-legged position. And I'm just gonna swivel around so I'm facing in front. Your left knee will be on top. Bring your right hand behind your head. Reach your left fingertips out to the side and find this big open side bend. Think of your right elbow, your right armpit pulling up towards the ceiling. Think of that space, that expansion that you can find all along the right side body. Take one more big breath in. Bring yourself back and switch. So your left hand comes behind your head, your right arm comes out to the side, and you can find this nice big side body bend. Pull your armpit up towards the ceiling. Think of your side rib cage pulling up towards the ceiling as well. Come back to center and then start to move this once again side to side. Find a little bit of resistance as you move. Keep your butt bones rooted down. And you may feel a nice stretch into your outer hips, or you may feel a nice opening into your side bodies. Again, just kind of take this at your own tempo. If your forearm can't make it all the way down to the mat, it's all good. Just let your hand come down and think of your torso just being really heavy to each side. And take a few more sets here, going side to side. And come through center, reach your arms up overhead nice and tall, and then release yourself up and over your crossed legs. Release your torso, release your head. Let your jaw hang heavy and just breathe here. Take about 5 big breaths. Every exhale, let your torso sink a little bit heavier. Expand the space between your shoulder blades as you breathe into your back body. And then slowly roll yourself up. Move back to your low lunge, so your left leg is in front. And then move that to a 3-legged dog, so your left leg comes up into the air. Bend your left knee, open your hip, press into your hands. And then place your left foot back down to the mat, downward facing dog. Take one more big breath in, one full exhale. And then lower down to your knees. Come to a cross-legged sitting position. Bring your hands so they rest on your knees or your thighs. Start to find some circles with your rib cage. We're gonna go both ways, so it doesn't matter which direction you go first, but just start to find some circles. We'll take like 2 or 3 in one direction, just huge circles here. And after you've taken a few in one direction, go ahead and move that the other way. We're gonna end with these big circles, just kind of coming back to center in the ribs and in the upper body. Sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands to rest on your knees or your thighs. Let your eyes close and just take a few final moments in this upright sitting position. Come back to your breath and notice any shifts you may feel, maybe physically, maybe mentally. But give yourself this gift, a few moments of stillness and silence with your breath. Thank you for joining us today. And that's your flow.